Welcome to the Creative Plan Podcast Network. Join us as we share our favorite RPGs, one-shot games, tabletop games, reviews of items, and convention panels, and other exciting things that we run into from time to time. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi, this is Kelly, aka Trixie from Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion to Ragnarok story, and Tilda Wimblewick from D&D Journey of the 5th Edition. First off, I would just like to say thank you to everyone for listening to our varied adventures, as well as for rating us on iTunes and RPGpodcast.com. If you haven't rated us yet, we would greatly appreciate it if you could. And if you're looking for more ways to support our efforts, we are now on Patreon, a great site where you can help us continue making more podcasts, as well as some special surprises for our patrons. If you can, please look us up at www.patreon.com/cppn. Every little bit helps. And again, thank you for listening.
Hey guys, Jim here at Creative Plan Podcast Network. Sitting here with Scott, Kelly, Michael. Everybody say hi real quick and introduce yourself so they can recognize the voices, because I kind of realized we haven't done that from the beginning, so people have no clue who you are for the first 2 days of the month.
Hi, I'm Kelly.
Hello, I'm Michael.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Hey guys, so it is August the 3rd. Engage is the word. Scotty, engage. Or no, it's Sulu, engage. Or Wesley, engage. So, what does engage mean to you? And who wants to go first?
Oh, that's good. This one's a good go.
Yeah, I'll go.
Okay. You just put something in your mouth, so we'll make you engage.
So engaging, obviously, you're part of something. You're doing something, either role-playing, anything like that, or whatever you do outside of work that's fun, or inside of work, who knows.
Only if you're really lucky to have that kind of work. That would be awesome.
So, if you're like me, and I do get into role-playing, especially D&D, I get into my character sometimes. One of my campaigns, I'm a bard, changeling. Yeah. And of course, if you're a bard, you're a sex fiend, obviously. So, that's a given. If you're not, you're playing the bard wrong. And I always bring my guitar, so I go in, if I try to persuade someone, pull it out. Try to seduce someone, pull out the guitar. If I'm just trying to talk to someone, pull out the guitar either way. If I'm trying to attack someone. Yeah. Either way, guitar. Whatever you're doing, guitar is the only option. Or if you're casting a spell, vicious mockery.
Best
Every bard should
spell
have
ever.
that spell.
Literally, you're hurting someone with words.
Oh my god, I love it. And you're giving them disadvantage. Hello, not only does it give 1d4 psychic damage, but you're on disadvantage until your end of your next turn or something like that. I love it.
So, you're right there just standing up on the table.
And you get to insult people.
Insult them, seduce them, slap them, and then seduce them, you know? Either way, someone's getting seduced. Engage.
Engage. So what you're saying as a bard is make sure to engage with the NPCs and the antagonists around you, instead of just hitting them with a stick.
Yeah, exactly. And if you're this type of bard that breaks the fourth wall and talking to the DM, GM, whatever you want to call them, there we are. Seducing the GM just to get your way as your bard.
Oh, those seductive words.
Okay, since we're talking about bards, I will end this with a horrible pun. So, when you're playing your guitar and you're seducing somebody, you're really hitting those power chords.
By the way, my bar name is Bardock Dragon Balls. So if anyone is not a Dragon Ball fan, Bardock is Goku's dad, and then Dragon Balls is the show Dragon Ball.
Oh, okay. So what's your changeling name?
That's my changeling name.
Oh, okay, because you were raised with humans, weren't you?
But when I transform, I'm always Leopold.
See, no, like for mine, I have like names and personas for. I have them all charted out, everything.
Either way, it's Leopold for me, and I just hit people with my guitar.
Oh, well, there you go.
What, you like me? Back, idiot.
It's your guitar of El Cabang.
Engage.
Engage. That was very engaging.
So, engage. Of course, when I hear the word engage, I think about pre-marriage.
Mm-hmm.
And engage.
I do too.
And there was... Oh, I just realized that he really can't tell a whole lot of that story. But it is gaming is not just all guys.
No.
And
Really?
yes.
Are you sure?
Wait a second, you're not a guy?
No.
How did you sneak in this
Hold
room,
it, hold
Kelly?
it. No, we're not a guy.
And I've been very lucky throughout most of my gaming to be in groups that had one or more women in it who were just phenomenal. And watching, again, I cannot go into details, but being in a gaming group, watching two people fall in love both in and out of character
Oh, that's a beautiful thing to watch.
is just really beautiful. It really is. And again, cannot go into details. However, I can tell you that they are now married and have 2 kids, and I think they're like 9 and 6 now. Maybe more than no, they have to be older than that. They'd be like 10 and 8.
The magic when you see friends
Yes.
become more than friends, and in the gaming group,
Mhm.
that is something special. She's smiling because she seduced me through gaming.
Was it a bard?
No, actually, it wasn't. Jim was the GM, so it was like, but
I made the mistake of bringing a game book to work, and she's like, I haven't gamed in forever.
like, oh my god.
I like to be in the gaming group.
Yeah, so I finagled a gaming group, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your engaged?
Engage, I would have to say, you know what, that was the first thing I thought of was, engage, but like, yes, and I did seduce my husband through gaming, but to be fair, he is just fabulous, so, but recently, we have been engaging some young people into starting to play that, and so we were asked, hey, can we run this group with our children? And they asked Jim, of course, to GM. So Jim and I have been making a point to engage these children into gaming, and it's been
awesome.
It's been fabulous. As a matter of fact, the very first time we were asked to do one with Talia's nephew.
Oh, yeah.
And stuff, because he was interested and he wanted to.
And
I'm like, yes, let's engage the youth. Let's just spread the, it's like the skills. Because we had done it with my nephew too. Introduced him to gaming, and then
he named his paladin after his father.
it was so sweet. So then he and one of the other boys was playing, and then the third boy was like, I do want to play now.
Because
So
at first he's
that
like,
was
I don't
their
want to
first.
play this, and he's like, you're fun.
Yeah, this looks kind of fun. So then they would kind of hang out while we were playing other games later, and then recently their mom comes to Jim and says, it's like, hey, I would like to,
I'm all for it.
want to do a game.
Younger generation gaming.
So
early,
now, we're doing a at least once a month game
once
with
a month
them,
D&D game.
and they are fantastic. These guys are, and one's the party leader,
Yeah.
and
He took a wood elf
he's the
noble wizard, and immediately I'm like, okay, I'm writing you as the leader of the group. You're a noble. You were bred for this.
yeah. We call it the noble hires because that's what
His brother is the Dragonborn rogue, who's a jerk to hit the wizard.
Oh my god!
Which
but
works
he
out
is
perfectly in
so
character.
clever.
Yeah.
It's like he comes with some of the craziest roguish stuff. It's
Totally
like
in character perfectly.
it's great. So then, of course, their mom and another family friend are in the group as well, and it's so neat to see these boys. You know, because I mean, come on, with today, you know, most kids are glued to their phones or the computer consoles and stuff. And yes, and when we're over, we see them doing that.
Yes,
But
when
it's
we
very
play
personal.
D&D, the
But when we
boys
play,
aren't even
they're
touching their electronics.
both there and they're engaged in the game, and they're kicking ass and taking names. Let me tell you.
Right.
So I just, you know, so.
Even to the point that their dad who has to go to work is jealous when he watches this whole game.
Although
He's
when
like,
he gets to
"I
play
do
it
work."
once in a while. So that's my, let's engage the next generation
Yeah, that's a good one.
to role-playing. And, you know, we always, in our family, we have the saying, it's like, those who play together stay together, you know. So, heck, my 70-plus-year-old, I'm not going to give away a real age, well, has
She's
role-played
horrified
with us.
people with her role-playing.
Oh my
Yes.
God! She's horrified me!
In our Scion game, she's done horrible things to her boy toys. So I'm going to
There's this cute little granny, like, you know, just the sweetest little thing, and like, what demons are in that mind of yours?
She's like, I'm breaking up with him. Hold him to the wall by the throat.
Yeah.
Leave me alone.
But, yeah, no, it's everything. And now my nephew actually
He has
plays
his own
with his
D&D group.
friends.
Yeah, in his Boy Scout troop.
And he's now starting,
Yeah.
going to be starting his senior year of high school next week. He's growing up. And he games with his friends, one of which is in college, and so when they get together,
Yeah, many times
they
Trevor's,
game.
you know, engaged me and asked questions about
Yeah.
D&D. But what are your suggestions? I'm like, here's what you can do. But here's what
we
you
should give him the starter kit.
It's the 5-year anniversary of that starter kit, by the way, this month.
Yeah.
Which also
hold it,
means-
D&D 5th edition's 5th year anniversary. Awesome!
And so, what does engage mean to me?
In regards to like
in regards
RPG.
to gaming.
It's when the person creating the story and the team that you're working with to write it put together something that keeps you interested. And not just that keeps you interested, but keeps you as a part of the story. That is what it needs to be.
Keeps things rolling.
Yeah.
And not just rolling, because sometimes you go off on a side story for no good reason, but you're still involved. It's still involved in the story that's being told. Sometimes when there's a large group of people, people tend to feel disconnected from the story as it's happening. And so being something that helps me be engaged is just a story that holds my attention.
Mm-hmm. Being engaged in the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, engagement is also where the players are, you know, they're all in, you know, they want to participate, you know, because when you want to participate, you make the story grow, okay? It's not just the amazing things your GM does, you know, but how you play, and if you have a really good game master like you.
well, even other players. When the energy starts flowing
it
off
can
each
make
other.
the story, you know, flow and go ways you never would have thought possible because you had that buy-in from your group that they were engaged, you know, and that they're not just like sitting there on their phone and, you know, not that we don't do that. I mean,
but
we
you
all
can
do
be
that,
on your phone and still be engaged.
be part of it, you know. But you know what I'm talking about when somebody's just obviously they're
out.
just like when they're checked out, and
you can feel that in a game table. When
one
person is just like, I'm just taking up a seat, you can feel that.
Yeah, so it's when you have that buy-in.
But they're always on the other side.
Yeah, that you have from the people, you know, it that sort of engagement is, well, it's like gold, you know. I mean, you can...
Makes it more fun.
Yeah, and the story could go anywhere.
So I'm going to go with something gaming related as engaging your players. As a GM, storyteller, game master, whichever MC, whatever game system you're playing is. Make sure as a game master to engage your players in-game and out of game. Because by all means, communicate via Facebook, text message, whatnot of the players. Because, talking about in-game stuff, out of the game sometimes helps the in-game stuff.
And the homework you sometimes give us. Yeah,
homework is good. I've been nice with the airship Galivant group because everyone's busy in life.
Yeah.
I rarely shoot homework out of them, but find some cool pictures. Read this pamphlet I wrote for you. But definitely make sure as a game master to engage your players, and as players, engage your GMs. If you have a cool idea for your character, let your GM know. Because your GM's trying to take care of 5+ people at the table on any average time. If he glazed over you at a game session, say, hey, not being a jerk, but you missed me that game session doing a thing. Because sometimes that does happen. Because, GM's trying to keep the storyline in the back of his head and engaging with everybody.
Also depends on the size of the group, I would think. Yeah. Sometimes larger groups, it's hard to
keep everyone engaged and try to amuse the other ones that aren't engaged with what's going on with the poor bastards in the scene. So definitely as a GM, make sure you're striving to engage with everyone. And as, everybody's saying, make sure, communicate, socialize, make sure you're playing the game because you're playing a game with a bunch of friends and engage with your damn friends. And of course, out of game engagement is great because it helps reinforce the game and it gives you ideas. Because, if you got a cool idea, throw it out there. It's like, it's not just in Star Wars where if you have a cool idea for suggestion on threat or advantage, you can throw it out to your team or, just say, hey, wouldn't this be a cool idea? Don't be afraid to speak up and engage with your team. I've seen many gaming groups where somebody's afraid of speaking up, but they had the coolest idea in the universe and not the lame idea they went with because they were afraid to engage with the group. So never be afraid to engage with the group. Most gaming groups need to know that this is a circle of trust. If you engage the circle of trust, and yes, I'll be a jerk. I kept thinking engage as in Star Trek.
Stay on target.
Engage. So just make sure to enjoy gaming. Enjoy your friends, engage with life and engage with gaming, and make sure to keep engaged. Alrighty, guys, thank you for listening. And this was August the 3rd. Engage, and we're not going to call Scott out on Tuscany again.
Thank you for listening to the Creative Play and Podcast Network. And feel free to enjoy our other shows, such as D&D Journey of the 5th Edition, and Scion Ragnarok and Roll, a Scion hero to Ragnarok story. Thank you for listening.
On the battlefield, I'm a warrior, ready to kill or be killed. I've defeated orcs from the north, sent Kandorian demon spawns back to the depths, and drank with Cimmerian heroes. But when I get back from a hard day of disemboweling my enemies, I enjoy nothing more than to open my castle doors and find a dungeon crate as my reward for blood well spilled. Designed for role players and tabletop gamers, Dungeon Crate is a monthly subscription box service with a treasure hoard of loot you can use on or off the battlefield. Miniatures, dice, tokens, coins, maps, modules, terrain pieces, handcrafted items, RPG jewelry, and more are yours for only a few gold per month. You even get a digital crate along with a physical one as an added bonus. So what say you? Are you ready for postal glory? Oh boy. DungeonCrate.com. Let the adventure begin!